Hi, hello and welcome to today's webinar, Modern Customer Service Experience for Consumer Electronics and Home Appliances Industry, using Oracle Service Cloud. My name is Ali Nassim and I represent eFlex. Happy to have you all here, and I'm going to have some fun time for the next 30 minutes. Before we get into the actual content, if you can take a quick look at the safe harbor statement, that'll be wonderful. Okay, let's take a quick look at the agenda for the webinar. First, we're going to discuss what is the hype all about with regards to customer experience, with regards to Service Cloud, and all that. We're going to take a quick overview of Oracle Service Cloud. We're going to see how it all fits together, especially in your industry, which is consumer electronics and home appliances, and what are the gaps that the solution fills in, and what are the customizations that we've built on top of it. Then we're going to do a deep dive right into the consumer electronics modules. I'm going to go through all the features that we've built on top of Service Cloud. Then we'll discuss how to get started with Service Cloud, what are the steps. We'll take a quick question and answer session, and we'll discuss what's next. Okay, so 80% of our future profits as companies, they come from our existing customers, and that's not a secret. What's interesting is that 86% of those customers, they stop doing business with us after one bad experience. 80% of high growth companies provide a consistent customer experience across all channels. And that should not be a surprise, given what we discussed in the previous slide. Plus, the customer, as you all know, has changed drastically. And your consumer electronics business, by the way, is no different with regards to those numbers and regards to how the customer has changed. Let's welcome this new customer. Fiercely empowered with all the tools in the world and all the voice in the world, the loudest voice in the world, and revolting with vengeance. May God save us. So let's see how the customer expectations have changed over the past 5 to 6 years. Maybe 5 to 6 years back, a customer would appreciate a good service, recommend your brand to friends and family, obediently wait for 24 hours for you to get back, follow your business processes. Not anymore. This customer, empowered with all the technology, demands an awesome experience every time they interact with your brand. On the flip side, if you do provide that sort of awesome experience, they endorse your brand, they actually join your brand, they do all the good marketing for you. But we need to understand the psychology of this customer. The customer is very impatient. You've got to get back at split within seconds on this device or channel that they're interacting with. And the customer is dictating all the terms there. So you need to constantly pamper the customer, you need to engage the customer, you've got to listen to the customer and pamper the customer some more. To add on top of it, every customer has a unique journey. So a customer might start on one channel, end up on a different channel, and this will be different for each customer and even each interaction from the same customer. So you can't really design a system in a singular way whereby customer calls in the call center and you record the complaint and you respond back. So that's not going to happen. So you've got to be available across the channels. Sorry about that. So we were discussing that the customer path has changed, from each interaction to the other. So every journey is going to be a unique journey, and it's going to transcend all the different channels out there. So let's take a quick example. A customer maybe starts by sending a tweet, ends up finding and locating your store, maybe gets on your IVR to make a complaint, and then talks to an agent on the phone, maybe ends up visiting your store, maybe have a live chat for the delivery of the product, maybe likes what the interaction's been, maybe goes and likes you on Facebook and shares you your brand on Facebook, and then ends up purchasing the product, and then get a notification either on SMS or on the email. So the channels could be different, as we said. It could be social, it could be mobile, it could be web, it could be in-store, it could be at the call center, it could be at the customer's home. So let's see what me as a customer would do when my home appliance breaks down. So maybe first of all, I'll try to go on the internet and try to find out any YouTube video which can help me with the resolution of that problem. I'll probably share it with my friends and family on social network, more than to find a resolution to it, but rather vent out my frustration with the product. Maybe I'll go out and try to find a knowledge base on the website. I'll probably try to locate the live chat support. And if I don't find any of that, I'll probably try to locate a contact information, either drop an email if I'm really nice, or get really frustrated and actually call the call center. But the key point is, I would never want to repeat the story across the different touch points interaction that I have with you as a brand. Now here's the interesting part. 75% of customers, they try to contact you at 3 or more of these channels. Now let's break the news, and you all know that, honestly, that customers hate call centers. And so do we, because it's costly. It's one of the costliest channels to support. Still, the majority ends up landing on the call center, frustrating themselves and the company. You know what the reason is? Because we do not have a CRM or a service center which is across the channel, which can span the customer journey across the customer experience lifecycle. So you've got to wow the customer across the customer experience lifecycle, as you all know. And in order to do that, you have to be available at the customer's term, at the customer channel that the customer is interacting with, at the device that the customer is interacting with. So let's look at what the solution is to all this dilemma. Introducing Oracle Service Cloud for consumer electronics and home appliances. So let's first take a look at the base product. So obviously, you've got to be really good at your web experience. You've got to be really good at your social experience, contact center experience. You've got to be able to engage the customer across different channels. You should have a very solid knowledge base so that they can self-service themselves. And then you've got to have a rock-solid platform on which all of this integration, integrated customer experience happens. Now let's see what eFlux has built on top of it. So what we've done on top of the Oracle Service Cloud, using the extensibility frameworks, integration APIs, what we've done is we've built a very focused solution for consumer electronics and home appliances, which includes warranty claim processing sort of features, includes a bit of field service, a geo-tracking capability, a bit of a configure price quote functionality with regards to being able to integrate with the backend ERP for this spare parts and being able to know the availability of that and the pricing and all that. We're going to take a look at that, and on top of it, franchise support management. Anyways, before we get into the specifics of the industry solution, let's take a quick look at what the web experience is all about within Service Cloud. So you've got intent guide, you've got web and mobile self-service, you've got a live chat and co-browse, email management, virtual assistant. What I like is the intent guide. The idea with intent guide is that based on the customer's history, based on what they've purchased already, based on what they're trying to search on your website, you should be able to anticipate what intentions they're coming up with to you, so that you can really create a great experience and anticipate their needs and kind of wow them with that service experience. Live chat co-browse allows you, live chat is kind of a pretty standard thing. Co-browse functionality is awesome, whereby you can share the desktop with the customer and share their desktop just to find out where they're stuck at, so that you can resolve that solution for them. Email management is again critical across the channels. You have to have the email going back and forth. Web and mobile self-service for the customers is again very important piece. so that the customers don't essentially have to call you on your call center and can serve themselves. Let's look at the social experience part. Self-service Facebook, support community, innovation community, social monitoring, semantic search. Let's take as the self-service Facebook. So when the customer is really pissed off and has an issue with your product or service, and they go on Facebook and try to vent it out with their friends and family, you got to give them an option whereby they can actually vent it out to you, and you can convert their post and give them an option to post it right from within Facebook, a case that you can register into your CRM and then respond back within Facebook. You don't have to leave Facebook to get that service, because they love being on Facebook so much. They don't want to switch it or get to your website or fill in a dirty, ugly form. So all they need to do is stay within Facebook and do that interaction. Support community. The idea here is to have your long-time customers and kind of make them part of that whole support cycle. So to say, make them own some of the products. So these are sort of your brand advocates that have been using your product for some time and are in a much better position to respond to some of the queries or some of the problems that new customers are facing. The support community lets you grade the different answers that your the old-time customer are giving and rate them up and make them subject matter product experts, so to say. Innovation community is what I really like. The idea here is that your customers can actually, based on the usage of the product, can recommend ideas as to how you can enhance your product features. You can circle back that feedback into your product roadmap. So your voice of customers integrated right into your product development process. Social monitoring. Now here is the feature where if the customer does end up going to Twitter to bash you, or Facebook or the social network, and has said something bad about you or raised a problem, if that can be converted into an incident or into a case, into a ticket, and your support agents can respond back to that within minutes, something that could have been really bad marketing for your brand can convert into an awesome experience. Why? Because the world would know that within seconds and minutes, you are there to respond, and you are there to help the customers. Semantic search, the idea behind that is, you get all those different interactions across the different channels, and being able to recommend the best path for the customer for the issue resolution using knowledge base, and you give the most relevant experience to the customer based on that. Contact center experience. This is again, as you know, is critical. The key here is the cross-channel servicing. So if your call center agent, they should have on the tips on the same screen, they should know when was the last time the customer tweeted, when was the last time the customer bought a product or service from you, when was the last time they raised a support request. So based on that visibility, you would understand where the customer is coming from, and you can serve the customer much better. The other key aspect to this is a guided resolution. The guided resolution is based on which product line or which specific product category and which specific situation the customer is coming up with, which specific problem the customer is coming up with. The system recommends the guided path to your agent so that they can guide the customer accordingly. Collaboration, again, an important part. Think of it, your customer is pissed off, is on the call with you and asking a question that you don't know the answer for. With collaboration, you can tag in a subject matter expert sitting anywhere in the world, within your company, on the field maybe, and ask a quick question, which can be responded back, and you can respond back to the customer right there and then. So, creating that great experience. A unified desktop agent and unified mobile agent app, both are available to the support agents so that they can serve the customers either from the desktop or also from their mobile apps. So next is the engage and knowledge base. So let's take a quick look at that. The customer feedback is critical, so you should be able to capture the customer feedback and circle it back to your team so that you can improve the experience further. Analytics, you should be able to see across the different products and categories what sort of turnaround times you're creating, what sort of customer feedback you're receiving, and based on that, you should be able to reach out to the customers and proactively provide resolutions to some of the aspects. And knowledge base is again an integrated part with it, so that you can whatever interaction, new knowledge that you gain by responding to the customer, that should go back into the knowledge base so that the next customer that comes in already has a solution on your knowledge base. I'm going to go a little faster from here. So now it's the consumer electronic and home appliances module that we built on top of the Oracle Service Cloud. We're going to take a look at how it fits in within that overall picture. So you've got campaign management, maybe using responses from Oracle or any other campaign management software to send out email marketing and doing all those different things. You have web experience management. You have a customer portal. Maybe you have an integrated e-commerce with your customer portal. Then what Service Cloud provides is the knowledge management on top of that. So that it goes hand in hand with your web experience. On the back end, you've got your ERPs, either it's e-business suite or it's SAP or JD Edwards. I don't care. Service Cloud sits right in the middle of all that, right? And what we've built for the consumer electronics modules, and we are just going to discuss now, sit on top of the cloud framework and integrate through something which is called Connect API, which is made available by Oracle Service Cloud. So your customer portal, your Connect API is utilized by our solution to integrate the different modules and workflows together and integrate that further with your e-commerce website or customer portal, and then also integrate real-time with your backend ERP using the same API framework. And to top it all, we've built mobile app experiences for your end customer as well to be able to do certain aspects that we just going to take a look. So now let's do a deep dive into the actual specific consumer electronic home appliances modules. So here's a quick list: product registration, customer 360-degree view, service rep assignment, field force route planning, warranty claim processing, service estimates, service invoice generation, service franchise management, document scanning, CTI integration, ERP integration, product inventory sync, inventory availability, check-in geo-tracking. So let's take a quick look at product registration first of all. So this is a key challenge, especially with consumer electronics and home appliances industry, especially if they're doing a distribution through the distribution network. They don't get to know the customer until the customer has a complaint and they call the call center, which is not a good position to be in, because then you always are reactive, right? So you've got to know the customer from the first day that they bought the product. So what we've built is a product registration module, which is both on the call, the desktop agent, so that the customer can call in and register their product using the product serial number, or they can do it themselves. So self-servicing, a self-service web interface as well as a mobile interface where they can scan the product and then capture the serial number and then send it over to you, which is going to be integrated, which is going to get integrated seamlessly with your backend Service Cloud CRM. You should be able to know what the customer products, as soon as you register the product, you should be able to have the list of products and whether or not they are covered under warranty right now or not. Then the customer 360-degree view. It basically facilitates the agent to know the customer from a 360-degree view before they even interact with them. So they should be able to know the customer history. They should be able to know what specific product model that they've bought from you and what common problems that are faced with those specific models. You should be able to create and manage new incidents from the customer. And here's the bonus: the customer should be able to create a new incident right from their mobile app as well, directly. Service rep assignment, again, a key issue when it comes to the home appliances and consumer electronics industry. You should be, what we built is a solution where you can have different service centers and specify the geolocation for those service centers. So whenever a customer calls in and you have the customer address, it intelligently identifies which service center this complaint should be routed to. And then based on the capacity of each of the agent within that service center, suggests which field service agent should be assigned this case. Obviously, the agent can go out and change that if they want, but it's a very good feature in terms of giving you suggestions which ones to select. Field force route planning. So the real-time status of on-the-ground staff schedule, the agents can allocate the visits based on the staff schedule and the proximity to the customer. So what they can look at when they are assigning the agent, They can have a graphical, they can have a map view where they can see how many cases have been assigned to a particular field force agent and which ones are really packed for today. So they can accordingly decide which one to assign the case to, both from the map as well as from the drop down. Warranty claim processing, again, a key issue with electronic products. Because of tight integration that we built into the ERP, the agents can know the warranty status of the customer right there on the screen. They would know that 2 of the products are under warranty. So if they are calling in, if they specify the serial number of the product which is under warranty, there's a different process to that. If it's not under warranty, there's a different process to that. So what we've basically built, we've built separate workflows, business rules, and guided assistance for the agents based on the warranty status. So if it's in warranty, they're going to take a different guided path. We're going to give them a separate guided path. And if it's not under warranty, they're going to be different for that. It's also going to determine whether it's a revenue case or it's a non-revenue case. Because if it's under warranty, it's not going to generate more revenue for you. But if it's not in warranty, that's a revenue that you can earn based on that. Okay, so service estimates calculator. It's a bit of a CPQ here. It's not a CPQ cloud, but this configure price and quote functionality is built right into Service Cloud, whereby based on the spare parts that are required, because this is a key challenge. Unless you visit the customer site and look at the product, you won't be able to generate the estimate. And the estimate would be would depend on how many spare parts are going to be required, how many service hours are going to be required. So you need to be able to give an estimate to the customer at the customer site. So a real-time integration to the product parts inventory, where those parts are available in the service center, their prices, and based on all that, you'll be able to generate a quick quote for the customer. And if they approve the quote, then you should be able to generate a service invoice. So we build a module which works in tandem with the estimate module and generates an invoice for the customer, and with one click syncs it directly back into your backend ERP and creates an account receivable if the customer has accepted your estimate. Service franchise management. As we all know, no company can have a full coverage of the geography for the complete market. So they need to either outsource some of their service centers or they need to work on a franchise model. So in order to manage a great customer experience across your sales and support franchise network, you should be able to give a consistent experience, be it your in-house service center or be it an outsource or a franchise one. So you should be able to auto-assign the service center, which the solution lets you do. So it auto-assigns which service center needs to be used. It also determines, it also lets you manage the revenue sharing arrangement with your franchises. Okay, so document scanning, this is kind of a standard feature. It's a utility feature. So instead of having to manually enter the details, you can scan the documents and that can directly sync into and become part of the customer case, incident, or whatever. Then you've got CTI integration. So the solution integrates with all the standard, it integrates with Avaya, with Cisco, with other third-party applications. Depending on whether they have a paid third-party license, you might have to purchase a license. So if it's just a free API, we just allow that integration automatically. Okay, on the ERP side, so whether you've got e-business suite, JD Edward, SAP, Microsoft Dynamics, we don't care. We provide the integration with all of them. So there are 2 types of integrations. Primarily, one is where the invoice that we just discussed being generated needs to be saved into your accounts receivable inside your ERP. On the other side, the Service Cloud needs to be able to check upon the availability status and the for the spare parts and the pricing and things like those, and also the warranty status accordingly. So we've got you covered on that as well. Product catalog management, pretty much we've discussed that already, being able to pull the product catalog from your backend ERP, associate those products with the specific case that the customer has complained about, and being able to do all that. Spare parts inventory status, again, being able to know quickly what the spare parts availability is across different service centers and what their prices are and things like those. so that you can determine how to schedule and when to schedule the visit to the customer's house accordingly. Field force check-in and activity geo-tracking. So we basically provide a mobile app whereby your manager and supervisors can monitor and geo-track the activity of the field force. So the field force can have the check-in capability. They go to the customer site and they check in there. So you can, as a manager or supervisor for the service center, you can monitor where your agents are in the real time. Customer service rating and feedback. So we basically let your end customers rate the service and provide feedback, and they can optionally take snapshot of the fixed, home appliance. So depending on whether or not you take a well-integrated service cloud solution with consumer electronics and home appliances functionality built right into it, you could either create a poor customer service experience, or you could have an average one, or an excellent one, or if you really go with the complete solution that we've built, you could really create an awesome customer experience for your customers. So now that kind of wraps up the functionality for the solution itself. Now let's see how to get started with the solution. So first of all, we encourage you to schedule a demo either through the Oracle reps within your geography or directly on our website. We provide a proof of concept phase whereby within our dedicated Service Cloud environment, we're going to do a proof of concept and give you the comfort level that your specific requirements are covered there. Next, you need to subscribe to Service Cloud so that you get your own provisioning, your own Service Cloud instance. Depending on you, if you are already a Service Cloud customer, you don't need to do that. But if you are new to it, you need to subscribe it for 1 year to 3 years, depending on what the contract you sign up with Oracle. Now, based on what we've already provided, which covers pretty much most of the use cases for your industry, if you still have some customizations that need to be done, we can do that for sure. If there's some specific integration to some proprietary systems that you might have, we've got you covered there. Once you've customized and you've integrated your Service Cloud for consumer electronics with all the systems that are required, next phase is to migrate the data and do a soft launch. So once your soft launch has been passed, then you do the actual production launch, and then we get into support and maintenance with you. So that's pretty much wrap up our today's webinar. Thanks a lot for being there. I appreciate your time. And as promised, I'm less than 30 minutes. So now we are open to have some questions if you might have. Oh, you can post the question on the event page as a comment. We're just going to give you 5 minutes to do that. Okay, one question that we just received. The question is, there is a product called CPQ, and there's a product called TOA, which is a field service cloud from Oracle. The question is your solution competing with them? The simple answer is no, because with TOA, you get a full-blown field force functionality, right? Which you get a real-time capacity measurement, you get a real-time, tracking and all that, and this has tons of other functionality as well, which pertains to pure field force operations. What we've built right inside of Oracle Service Cloud is the field force tracking as applicable to the consumer electronics business. Imagine an industry where you need to be, it's a power plant and that needs to be maintained, or it's a grid that needs to be maintained. That's a completely different B2B ballgame where TOA excels a lot. What we've built, we've kind of borrowed some concepts in regards to that and have given enough that you would need from your consumer electronics business perspective. With regards to CPQ, again, CPQ is an amazing product in itself. whereby it allows you all the tons of different parameters on which you can generate, you can configure and generate the code for your customers. What we've, as we saw in the service estimate calculator module, we've built just the right piece of information you need to capture in order to generate the service estimate and spare parts estimate, and the invoice generation integrated with that. So it's not in no way competing with it, but for the customers who might want something right within Service Cloud, one interface to do all that, it might be a good option. Okay, any other question? Okay, what is the next question? What is the turnaround? What's the deployment cycle for the solution? So as you've just seen that we've built most of the solution already. Once we pass the proof of concept stage, it could take somewhere from couple of months to a max of 4 months to do an end-to-end deployment, which includes a lot customizations as well and integration to some of your proprietary systems. If the system that we build fits, let's say, 80% of your needs, then I guess it's not going to be more than a few weeks project to roll it out. So somewhere from 4 weeks to 6 weeks, you should have an end-to-end solution ready. And depending on how complex the specific integration might be, it might just get a little bit longer, but that's the time scale that you should have in mind. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. You can see our contact information there. Feel free to reach out, and we will be conducting similar, more engaging sessions than this one, whereby we'll also invite some Oracle reps within the Hangout so that they can, this one was kind of a global event. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be doing it with our US Oracle reps. There's one we are planning with the UK reps, and there's another one we're planning with the Singapore market. So thanks a lot for attending the webinar. Appreciate you taking time out for this. I hope you all the best with your search for the best Service Cloud available in the market. Thanks a lot for attending. Take good care. Bye-bye.